Before I begin this, I just want to preface by saying that this isn't a critique video on Genshin Impact. Genshin is a game with a lot of things I absolutely love, and a lot of things I absolutely hate, but this is not that video. Maybe in the future I'll make a video about that, but this is purely me ranting about my personal experiences with this game. If you strongly disagree with anything I say here though, and you think, oh my goodness, what is this person talking about? I am more than welcome to have a discussion with you in the comment section. Just please, please, please keep it civil. Thank you. So my introduction to Genshin Impact was mainly through social media. It was 2.0 and Inazuma had just dropped, and all the fan content flooding my feed got me hooked before I even started playing the game. On my birthday that year I received an iPad, which was absolutely crazy to me as a little lower class British person. The first thing I downloaded on that iPad the next day was Genshin, and in the next 24 hours I proceed to complete the Mondstadt Archon quest and half of the Liyue Archon quest. It's fair to say my screen time during that first week was pretty abysmal. I started playing during Ito's first banner and I got him in Kuching as my first 5 stars. I had absolutely no comprehension of how team building was meant to work, so I ran them on the same team with Kaya and Amber, but this scuffed our team managed to get me all the way to the end of Inazuma. I was a very casual Genshin player, but then Sumeru happened. 3.0 frankly changed the course of my life entirely, and that's all because of one specific character, Kole, which segues me nicely into my first point. Kole was a character I projected onto heavily. At the time of Sumeru releasing, I had suffered an extremely bad leg injury that left me bedridden for a few months due to a disability I have, which I will not get into because I don't particularly want all my medical information online, thank you. Seeing Kole, a character with a medical condition who was a confident character in the Archon quest and wanted to do things that her able-bodied peers could, really impacted me at that time, which made her a very special character to me. I made a lot of fan art of disabled Kole and discussed headcanons in Discord servers about how Elazar would affect her life. Again, this was projection. At the end of the Archon quest though, when she was cured of Elazar, I still kept this headcanon because again, I was trying to comfort myself while I was sick. But then, on a piece of fan art I made, I received a comment telling me that making content about a character being disabled who wasn't was somehow fetishizing disability, and I was like this horrible weirdo. And that really hit me hard. After that, I stopped making Kole content entirely, and I was just terrified that I would be attacked for some random headcanon I had, which really sucks because in hindsight, I know I should have probably just blocked that person, but again, it did hit really hard. This is just my personal experience with being attacked for a headcanon, but I think it is very visible in the shipping community too. This goes for every game too, but I think for Genshin, the issue is very inflated just because of the sheer amount of characters that are in this game now. Now, I don't think that shipping is a bad thing at all. I wrote a ton of Sayonara fanfiction a few years ago, but the people who take it far too seriously are what ruin it for other people. Ship wars are possibly the most useless thing to ever happen in fandom, and I think a lot of people just need to realise that another person's headcanons do not impact the actual game whatsoever. Just because I personally headcanon Sino as a gay man does not mean that his character is a gay man. It's called a headcanon for a reason. I'm not stopping you from shipping him with a female character, and people who do take it so seriously just ruin the community and leave a bad taste in people's mouths when they think about the Genshin community. Now, I think I'm done talking about the community for this video, and I would rather just talk about Genshin as an actual game. Genshin Impact is a live service game, and if you somehow don't know what that means, it's just a game that continuously receives updates and new content. I think most Genshin Impact players, at least the fanbase when I was active in the community, played the game in a way that caused them to get very attached to their favourite character or region. This was especially the case for me. I am the #1 Sumeru glazer until the day I die, but I think this mindset was also the reason why I stopped enjoying the game. I quit playing just before Natlan was released. I liked Fontaine, but I definitely was not as interested in it as I was with Sumeru. And after a while, I realised that now that Sumeru wasn't the focus of the game, I was just falling out of love. This was not Genshin's fault, I just want to say. It's just the nature of live service games, especially ones as big as Genshin Impact. There's over 100 characters in this game now, and it's unrealistic that every single one will get spotlight. And the new content just wasn't my cup of tea. When the first Natlan teasers came out, it was not what I expected, and I did not like it. Again, this was just personal preference. Now I've realized that Natlan wasn't bad, it just wasn't what I enjoyed about Genshin. Most people don't like change, which, other than the issues about colorism, which I will not speak on because, to be honest, I don't know enough about that topic to make a confident take, is the biggest reason people didn't like Natlan, in my opinion. One complaint I see when critiquing Natlan was that the vibe was just off and it didn't fit with the rest of Genshin. I was part of this crowd a few years ago, but in hindsight I realized that argument just came from a place of being attached to the old content and missing it. At least for me, that's what it was. Which is okay, I was allowed to be upset about a game I like changing. But that isn't the game's fault. Again, it's just personal preference, and Hoyoverse obviously want to try out new things with Genshin and to get a wider audience because they're a gacha game and they're a company and they want to make money. So by targeting a new audience, that means new income coming in. So in my stupid rage, I uninstalled Genshin. But I still kept up to date with Genshin. I have a lot of friends who still love and play the game every day. Plus I found enjoyment in content creators and watching their Genshin videos. But eventually Genshin's official content did start to hook me again. When Luna 7 came out, you best believe I was obsessed. I was excited about seeing Kole and the rest of the Sumeru gang again, obviously. But the patch actually made me want to reinstall the game and play through Natlan and Nodcry so I could play the new Archon quest. So I did reinstall it. But when I opened the game, just the sight of the map was overwhelming. Knowing I'd had to slug through all of this content just to catch up was extremely demotivating. This is where quality of life updates like a proper skip button would actually do wonders. My team also just didn't work in the new endgame content. With the new introduction of the new Stellar and Luna reactions, they just didn't work because this new endgame content is designed for the new characters, so you pull them. Again, Hoyoverse is a business, it's a very clear move to make people pull characters. But it's just really upsetting that in early game, there was like the play who you want meta. You could build any random 4-star as a main DPS and clear most of the content, and that doesn't feel like it's really applicable anymore. And I honestly have so much sympathy for people like me who ran the randomest 4-stars as a main. I had like a Hazo team, and my like main team I played with was Aim Shot Kole DPS. This was the team. I'll just put them on screen now. Yeah, it was just really upsetting that like I felt like I couldn't play that team anymore. But if I was this overwhelmed as a returning player, I can't imagine what Genshin's like for new players now. I'm sure there's still the magic of running around the massive open world early game, but all the content releasing is so far ahead. Like imagine you started playing 7.0 and your first 5-star is Odette. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a teleport to Snezhnaya, I think. But to me, using that is a bit immersion breaking, because we're meant to be going on a journey through the 7 nations, and I don't want to skip to the last one that's been so hyped in the Mondstadt Archon quest. I just want to experience it as a story sometimes. Like, I don't want to randomly teleport to Snezhnaya just to get Ascension materials for a 5-star. And if you're a new player, I just feel like the immersion is so broken for you. Anyway, I quit yet again because I felt too far behind, and I knew what the Genshin community is like online. I would get spoiled for the Luna 7 Archon quest while I was doing all the catching up anyway, so I just ended up watching a playthrough of the quest on YouTube so I could experience the story without spoilers. And I know people do have their complaints about that quest, like about how Dottore was handled, about the pacing, which I totally understand. The pacing was pretty abhorrent, but I loved it. I loved that quest. I loved the new lore I got about Kole. I loved seeing Pantalone in the story. Oh my god, I never thought this day would come. And in general, the quest just really got me interested in the game again. Now, in present day, I've had a realization. I don't have to play for content I don't want to. I'm allowed to experience Genshin in whatever way I want, and I found that the way I enjoy the game is to just be the world's biggest poser. I'm so lucky that YouTube exists so I can enjoy the story in isolations of the things I don't like about the combat. And guess what? If you're someone who likes to combat, you can also enjoy playing the game while not reading the story. Obviously, it would be so much better for you if we had a skip button again, which I'm sorry about, and let's just hope and pray. And if you think that way of enjoying the game makes me, like, not a real Genshin fan, or God forbid you call me a LARP, I don't really care. That's, like, your opinion. I'm gonna still keep enjoying the game without playing it and calling myself a Genshin fan, because I am a fan. I love the Genshin Impact story, and I think that's valid. I think that's a valid way to enjoy a piece of content. And who knows, maybe if Hoyoverse introduce more quality of life features, I'll try playing again. But for now, I'm pretty happy. I've watched playthroughs of the Snezhnaya Archon quest and the world quests, and they are absolutely amazing. As you can see throughout the video, I've been drawing Michia, who is by far my favourite new character. His animations and interactions with characters are so charming, and I can't wait to see more of him. Odette's also a super interesting character and a very close second favourite. I will be keeping up with Genshin passively, in the way I like to enjoy the stupid little game, and I've made peace with that fact. I am very excited for 7.1, and I hope you all are too. Thank you so much for watching my entire yap session. This is my first attempt at making a long-form video in about 5 years, and if you made it this far, you clearly like, or absolutely hate, my content, and I'd really appreciate a like or even a subscribe. Also, if through this video you were thinking, God, their mic is shit, I have a Kofi account, and any earnings or donations or shop sales will go into making my future videos better. I sell stickers if you're interested. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon.